Hi friends, welcome back. This is Dr. Gurneet here, and today I will discuss with you about Leafoot fractures. So friends, before I start with my video, if you like all my videos, then please click for the like button and do subscribe for my channel. So now let's start with we'll talk about Leafoot fractures. So basically Leafoot fractures are the mid-face fractures. Okay, so Leafoot is a person who came across with these fractures. So basically what he did, he tried to hit with the help of the thumb, he tried to hit on the mid face, and therefore he discovered three fracture lines, three lines which he called as Leafoot 1, Leafoot 2, and Leafoot 3. So, now what is Leafoot 1? Just to describe you about Leafoot 1, this part is a Leafoot 1 fracture, this fracture lines. So, this is an horizontal fracture or subzygomatic fractures because it occurs below the zygoma. Then this is Leafoot 2 fracture. So basically it is a pyramidal fracture, or it is a subzygomatic fracture. So again it occurs below the zygomatic bone. And the third is Leafoot 3 fracture. It is known as a known as a suprazygomatic fracture or transverse fracture. So these are the three fracture lines of the Leafoot 1. So, I will discuss with you about Leafoot fractures in details. That is, what are the clinical features of the Leafoot fractures, what are the fracture lines, and what is the treatment or management of Leafoot 1 fracture. Okay, with the help of the diagrams and to tell you about the clinical features of the Leafoot fractures, I will discuss that in detail. Okay, so let's start. Now we start with the Leafoot 1 fracture. Okay, so what is Leafoot 1 fracture? Leafoot 1 fracture, it is also known as low level fracture, subzygomatic fracture. Why? Because it happens below the zygomatic bone. It is known as horizontal fracture or Gorin's fracture, floating fracture because the fracture has a floating palate. Okay, now there is a separation of the complete dentoalveolar part of the maxilla, so pterygomaxillary dysfunction occurs. Okay, now coming with the fracture, so the fracture line. Okay, so what are the lines of the fracture line of Leafoot 1 fracture? So fracture, it runs horizontally. Obviously it is in a horizontal fracture, so it runs horizontally above the floor of the nasal cavity. जो nasal cavity का floor है उसके above it runs. It involves the lower third of the septum, palate, alveolar process of the maxilla, and also lower third of the pterygoid plate of the sphenoid. So it is going to involve the lower third plate of the sphenoid bone. Okay, now we talk about the clinical feature, we talk about the exact position. So we talk about the exact location or the exact lines of the Leafoot 1 fracture. So the fracture is going to commence at the lateral margin of the anterior nasal aperture and passes above the nasal floor, passes above the canine fossa, and it transverses the lateral antral wall, dipping below the zygomatic buttress. Then it also inclines posteriorly across the pterygomaxillary fissure to fracture the pterygoid lamina at the junction of the lower third and the upper two thirds. The fracture also passes along the lateral wall of the nose and joins the lateral line of the fracture behind the maxillary tuberosity. So we'll discuss in detail about the Leafoot 1 fractures clinical features. So what do you see in that? So first of all, there is a floating palate. Then there is a swelling of the upper lip, posterior gagging of the occlusion. Then there is a bleeding from the nose, that is epistaxis, ecmosis of the palatal region, dearrangement of the occlusion. Now we'll talk in detail about this thing, the Leaford 1 fractures clinical features. So there is a slight swelling and the edema of the lower part of the face. Then there is a gross edema of the facial disfigurement. There is a upper lip swelling, echymosis in the labial, buccal, vestibule, laceration of the upper lip and intraoral mucosa. Bilateral epistaxis is seen. Then there is a mobility of the upper dentoalveolar portion of the jaw. There is a pain and there is the upward displacement of the entire fragment. Okay, so now whenever you percuss the maxillary teeth, there is a cracked cup sound which is produced, and this is also known as a telescopic fracture because the fracture will be impacted. So that's all about the clinical features which you see in the Leaford 1 fracture. So now we are going to talk about the treatment plan of the Leaford 1 fractures. Leaford 1 fractures. The first line of the treatment is intermaxillary fixation. So how you're going to do the intermaxillary fixation? We are going to place the arch bars on both the maxillar and the mandibular arches, and with the help of the ligating wires, you are going to ligate the arch bars with the ligating wires for the proper achievement of the occlusion. Now, what are the different other lines of the treatments which you use in the Leaford 1 fracture? So the Leaford 1 fractures has the open reduction and the closed reduction. So what is open reduction and the closed reduction? Now we are going to talk about the other treatment plan which is being used, in which the surgery, that is open reduction, is not possible. So we are going to use a different treatment plans. That is, we are going to place the hollow frame in the patient for the proper fixation to occur, plaster of the Paris head cap for the stabilization of the middle third fracture. However, these methods are absolute and are not used nowadays for the treatment plan. Only in the patients where the surgery is not possible, you are going to use these hollow frame, box frame, plaster of the Paris for the stabilization of the middle third fractures. So let's talk about the Leaford fracture. That is the detail of the treatment of the Leaford fractures via open reduction. So what is open reduction? That you are going to do the open surgery in the Leaford 1 fracture treatment. So what is all of the fractures, open reduction fracture patients are operated with the help of the nasal intubation. So what you do is you give the general anesthesia, then you have to give the local anesthesia submucosally, then you actually take the incision from the buccal sulcus approach, that is uh, uh, above the apices of the teeth and along the buccal vestibule. So then you have to elevate the mucoperiosteal flap, and then you are going to start with the reduction of the fracture. So what you are going to do is you are going to reduce the fractured fragments, let them you have to bring them close together, and once you bring the fracture segments, reduce the fracture segments, you are going to put the plates. So what are the different types of the plates which we use? That is, mini plates are used, which are made of the stainless steels, or the metallic plates. So mostly the plates which we use have the 4-hole plates. So with a gap, 4-hole plates with a gap. So where you're going to place the plates is, that is along the zygomaxillary buttresses and the pyriform aperture. Then after that, you have to reduce the IMF, that is intermaxillary fixation, which you give to the patients for the proper occlusion to settle down. So you are going to remove that intermaxillary fixation near about after 3 to 4 weeks. Once this uh, after intermaxillary fixation, you have to wait for 3 to 4 weeks, and then you do the surgery. Then once you fix the plates, you have to release the intermaxillary fixation and recheck for the occlusion. Now if the occlusion is proper, then you are going to close the fracture line and then do the suturing. So that's all about the treatment of Leaford 1 fractures.